Let's get right into it. Number 10. The Doorway Blackout. You're walking through your house, probably on some noble quest like grabbing snacks or wondering why you even stood up in the first place. Then you pass through a doorway, and poof! Your brain performs a hard reset. Whatever mission you were on, gone. It's like your head decided that stepping through a door is the same thing as starting a brand new video game level, and obviously the previous objective no longer applies. Scientists actually have a name for this, the Doorway Effect. Apparently, your brain sorts memories by location, like a hyperactive librarian who files everything into neat folders based on where you are. Step into a new room, and suddenly your librarian thinks, oh, we must be starting a new chapter of life. Better dump the last one. Which is fantastic if you're a character in a movie, but pretty annoying if you just wanted some chips and now you're staring at your fridge wondering if you came for milk, revenge, or enlightenment. Psychologists suggest this glitch is your brain's attempt at being efficient. It thinks, we don't need old info anymore, new scene, new context. But what it actually feels like is your mental hard drive just blue-screened. Honestly, it's less like a computer and more like a lazy intern who misplaces your sticky notes every time you stand up. So yeah, your brain basically gaslights you into believing you never had a plan in the first place. Very convenient, unless you're holding scissors and can't remember if you were about to craft or commit a felony. Number 9. Phantom phone vibrations. This one hits way too close to home. You're sitting there, minding your own business, when suddenly, buzz. You swear your phone just vibrated in your pocket. You reach down, nothing. Your phone is either on the table across the room, or tragically dead from too much TikTok. But your thigh was convinced it had a mini earthquake. Welcome to the world of phantom phone vibrations, where your nervous system plays practical jokes on you. It turns out your brain is so addicted to notifications that it starts hallucinating them. Basically, your body has developed a Pavlovian response where any tiny twitch of a muscle, fabric shift, or random nerve firing gets translated into, ah yes, dopamine delivery has arrived. Spoiler, no dopamine. This phenomenon is so common that studies say around 90% of people experience it. That means 9 out of 10 humans are walking around with what is essentially text message schizophrenia. And it's not just vibrations, you might even hear phantom notification sounds. Imagine evolving for millions of years, surviving predators, famines, and wars, only for your 21st century brain to start hallucinating ringtones like a needy golden retriever. The irony is that the more anxious or attached you are to your phone, the worse this glitch gets. So congratulations, your nervous system has turned into a clingy ex that can't stop making up reasons for you to check your pocket. Basically, your brain is so scared of missing out, it just invents buzzes like a bad improv comedian. Number 8. Sleep paralysis demons. Picture this. You wake up in the middle of the night, your eyes open, and you're very aware that you're lying in bed. Except, plot twist, you can't move. At all. Your body is basically a sack of bricks, and to make things worse, your brain starts serving up terrifying visuals. Shadowy figures at the edge of the room, creepy whispers, sometimes even the good old demon sitting on your chest. Fun. Totally fun. This little nightmare is called sleep paralysis, and it's what happens when your brain and body can't agree on whether you're awake or asleep. Normally, when you dream, your body shuts down muscle movements so you don't act out your dreams. Great feature, otherwise people would be karate kicking their nightstands at 3 a.m. But occasionally, you wake up before your body flips the switch back on. That's when the weirdness happens. Your brain, confused and half stuck in dream mode, starts overlaying dream hallucinations onto reality. Which explains why millions of people around the world report seeing eerily similar entities during episodes, dark silhouettes, intruders, or chest-sitting goblins. Apparently, our brains are so lazy, they all downloaded the same horror DLC. Scientists say it's basically your fight or flight system freaking out while you're immobile. Your ancient survival instinct screams, predator nearby. But since you can't move, your brain fills in the blanks with whatever your personal nightmare fuel is. For some, it's demons. For others, it's faceless strangers. For me, it's probably a tax auditor holding a clipboard. So yeah, Sleep paralysis is essentially your nervous system holding you hostage while your imagination puts on a haunted house performance. Sweet dreams. Number 7. The tip of the tongue curse. Few things in life are more frustrating than this one. You're in the middle of a conversation, ready to drop a fact that makes you sound smart. Maybe the name of an actor, a rare word, or that obscure capital city you learned once just to flex. And then, your brain slams the brakes. You know the word. You can feel it dangling just out of reach, tickling the edge of your mind like an itch you can't scratch. This is called the tip of the tongue phenomenon, and it's basically your memory system trolling you. Your brain stores words and names in little interconnected webs, like a demented spider spinning a thesaurus. When you try to pull one out, the network usually delivers the goods. But sometimes it hands you the wrong package, like the first letter, the syllable count, or some totally unrelated word that's just close enough to taunt you. Psychologists think it happens because the retrieval pathway for that memory is partially blocked. Imagine your brain's search bar lagging, where the thumbnail loads but the actual video won't play. Super efficient. And the worst part? The harder you try to force it, the more your brain doubles down on being useless. Which is why people start doing that weird dance of listing random guesses until someone else finally blurts the right answer. Then your memory smugly goes, "Oh yeah, that's it. I knew it the whole time." Basically, tip-of-the-tongue moments are your brain's way of reminding you that it's both brilliant and completely unreliable, like a genius roommate who occasionally hides your car keys just for fun. Number 6. False memories. Here's a fun little glitch. Sometimes your brain just decides to make things up. Not like, "I had a dream about aliens," but full-on convincing yourself you remember something that never happened. You'll swear up and down that your friend said that one thing, or that a certain childhood toy existed, or that Nelson Mandela died in prison. Spoiler, he didn't. Welcome to the world of false memories, where your brain moonlights as a terrible fanfiction writer. This isn't just about fuzzy details either. False memories can feel just as vivid and real as genuine ones. That's because memories aren't like videos stored on a hard drive. They're more like Wikipedia articles. Every time you recall one, your brain edits it, then resaves the new version. Which means the more you remember something, the less accurate it becomes. Congratulations, you're basically gaslighting yourself. The Mandela effect is the internet's favorite example. Huge groups of people all misremembering the same detail. Like the Berenstain Bears spelling, or the Monopoly man having a monocle. He doesn't, sorry. Turns out, memory is less like a camera and more like an improv actor who's too confident for their own good. So if you've ever gotten into a heated argument about whether a movie quote is, "Luke, I am your father," or, "No, I am your father," don't feel bad. It's not that you're dumb, it's just that your neurons are running their own bootleg alternate universe. Basically, your brain is your own unreliable narrator, and you didn't even get a say in the casting. Number 5. Hypnic Jerks. You know that moment when you're drifting off to sleep, completely relaxed, and then suddenly, you spasm like you just got drop-kicked by an invisible ninja? Yeah, that's a hypnic jerk, also known as the single most embarrassing way to scare yourself in bed. Scientists think it's your brain misfiring during the transition from wakefulness to sleep. As your muscles start to relax, your primitive lizard brain sometimes panics and thinks, "Oh no, we're falling." So it slams the emergency brake and jerks your body awake. Which is incredibly counterproductive, considering you weren't falling, you were just trying to take a nap like a normal mammal. This reflex probably dates back to tree-dwelling ancestors, where accidentally dozing off and falling out of a branch was a legit death scenario. But nowadays, it's just your nervous system auditioning for slapstick comedy. And if it happens while you're in class or on a plane, congratulations, you've just startled yourself awake while looking like someone tasered your subconscious. Sometimes the hypnic jerk even comes with dream fragments, like tripping over a curb or missing a step. Which means your brain isn't content with just twitching your body, it also supplies a little horror short film to go with it. Lovely. So the next time you spasm awake in bed, just remember, your nervous system isn't malfunctioning. It's simply role-playing as a paranoid monkey clinging to a branch. Number 5. You're walking into a room, talking to a friend, or maybe just microwaving leftover pizza, and suddenly you get hit with that eerie feeling. Wait a second. I've done this before. I've been here before. But you haven't. Unless you've secretly unlocked time travel, what you're experiencing is déjà vu, the ultimate brain hiccup. Déjà vu literally means already seen in French, but it feels less like déjà seen and more like déjà weird. Scientists think it happens when your memory system does a little cross-wiring. Basically, your brain accidentally files your current experience into the past memories folder, which makes it feel like a repeat. It's like clicking a link online and your computer loading a cached version of the page from last week. Thanks for nothing, neurons. What's extra creepy is how déjà vu usually lasts just a few seconds but feels profound, like the universe is glitching and you're the only one who noticed. And of course, your brain doesn't stop there. Some people even report déjà vu, where you not only feel like you've lived the moment before, but you know what's about to happen next. Spoiler, you don't. Your brain is just being a smug liar. The kicker? Déjà vu is most common in younger people and tends to fade as you age. So basically, it's your brain giving you a free trial of cosmic weirdness that expires once you hit adulthood. In short, déjà vu is just your memory system briefly confusing real life with reruns. Your brain's Hulu account is acting up. Number 3. Brain freeze. Few experiences are as stupidly painful as brain freeze. You take one innocent sip of a milkshake or a too large bite of ice cream, and suddenly, bam, your skull feels like it's trying to explode from the inside. For something called ice cream headache, it's way too dramatic. Here's what's actually going on. The roof of your mouth, also called the palate, has a ton of blood vessels. When something really cold hits it fast, those blood vessels freak out, first constricting, then rapidly expanding. This sudden shift basically sends panic signals through your trigeminal nerve, which is the same nerve responsible for sensing pain in your face and forehead. Your brain, in its infinite wisdom, interprets this as, oh no, the forehead is under attack. Cue the stabbing pain behind your eyes. In other words, brain freeze is just your nervous system's terrible attempt at geography. Cold in the mouth? Obviously that must mean skull trauma. Makes sense. Totally logical. The good news is it only lasts a few seconds. The bad news is those seconds feel like getting stabbed in the brain by a popsicle. And the cure? Press your tongue against the roof of your mouth to warm it back up, basically hugging your own palate until your neurons chill out. So yeah, brain freeze is less medical crisis and more your nervous system throwing a toddler tantrum in the frozen aisle. But it does prove one thing. Even dessert isn't safe from your brain's nonsense. Number 2. The Stroop Effect. Okay, time for a classic psychology party trick. Imagine looking at the word blue, but it's written in bright red letters. Now try to say the color, not the word. Your brain hesitates, glitches, maybe even short circuits for a second. That moment of awkward stuttering? That's the Stroop Effect in action. A mental showdown between your reading reflex and your color recognition. Here's the deal. Reading is such an automatic process for literate adults that your brain can't not do it. It's like trying not to hear the annoying chorus of a song once it's stuck in your head. Meanwhile, identifying colors is slower, more deliberate work. So when the two clash, when the word says one thing but the ink screams another, your brain basically has a traffic jam. One part yells, say red. The other yells, but the word is blue, and you end up sounding like a confused game show contestant. Psychologists use the Stroop effect to measure attention, processing speed, and even self-control. Because if your brain struggles to override something as simple as reading, imagine how messy it gets when you're trying to resist doom scrolling at 2 a.m. Basically, this experiment proves that your head is full of competing subroutines, and sometimes they trip over each other like drunks leaving a bar. So the next time someone says humans are the most intelligent species, remember, half of us can't even say the color red when it's written as the word blue. Elite brains indeed. Number 1. Random word substitutions. Ever try to ask for the salt and accidentally call it the sugar thing? Or worse, the table powder? Congratulations, you've experienced the casual brain glitch of word substitution. This is when your brain decides to swap out the correct word for a random placeholder, like a terrible autocorrect that lives inside your skull. This usually happens because your brain organizes language in clusters. Similar words, sounds, or concepts live near each other in the mental dictionary. When you reach for one, sometimes your neurons grab the wrong neighbor, which is why you might call your teacher Mom or your dog Grandma, or mix up the names of every sibling before landing on the right one. It's not a sign you're broken, it's actually proof that your brain is a speed over accuracy machine. Instead of carefully pulling the perfect word every time, it chucks out whatever's close enough and hopes you'll figure it out. Kind of like when your GPS tells you to turn left, but really means veer slightly right into traffic. The funny part is, most people just roll with it. You say, "Can you pass the shoe, spoon," and everyone nods like it's perfectly normal. Which it is, because literally everyone's brain is guilty of playing Mad Libs with language. Basically, random word substitutions are a reminder that the world's most advanced thinking machine sometimes can't even order a sandwich without glitching. But hey, at least it keeps conversations interesting. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.